Hello, dear ones. So, another part of the off grid living life, living in a cabin. I tried to make one video yesterday, or sometime, but I tried to show you the cut. It didn't work. It doesn't know if it shows you. Anyway, I feel excited a little bit now about this. Me and a cat, we had a really bad relationship together in the beginning. So yeah, just again to put you in a picture, I moved to Portugal a few years ago, and I live kind of cashless. That's just a cliche, but my mom was supporting me because I did run out of money. But I'm finding the beauty of that because I need to learn to create a better connection with the universe. And so, as much as I prayed to find something for winter, something popped up, and still praying to the universe and giving thanks that I've been able to have something for the winter time. And it's been one of the most amazing winters again. One of the two most amazing winters last winter, when was also very good. I was living in a community with having campfires and so on. So anyway, so the cat story, yeah, it's funny. I want to tell you. So the cat and me, we did have a bad relationship in the beginning in a way that I could not get used to her 100%. And I knew that in my heart I love her, and yet I was triggered every day. Like I would shout at her, like, to give me space. And I was not happy about myself. I was a bit ashamed of that, but I knew that I'm getting triggered. I was afraid of her not having enough treatments with the parasites, so I didn't have enough money to give her. I was always counting each euro for my mom, so it sounded even €5 tablets were very expensive for me to buy. So I was waiting until the right time. I feel confident to just get these tablets. And somehow it was like just annoying her meows and how to feed her so she's calm, and we find like a mutual agreement. And I knew winter is coming, so let's resolve it. Anyway, it resolved itself very nicely. I promised myself from my heart I will never shout at her. In beginning of December, maybe it was. I was yeah. Basically, I have big commitment in my life. My daily decisions are all about self-love. So there is this quote, what would someone who loves themselves do? Like, ask yourself and wait for the answer. So I really asked myself, and same like with a couple of things in my life, the answer came and it said no, not to shout at her anymore. So I knew a lot of tools, and I knew that I have capability of working with my anger in other ways, and I didn't use it enough at all. I stopped using it because I created a kind of a gremlin personality. I'll explain one day. This kind of persona that is kind of grumpy, because I've done a lot of inner work, and as much as I loved it and I still love it, I created also this grumpy part of me who says, fuck it, like whatever, like just some things started to be difficult for me because of getting all the results from the universe and not. And I feel sad to say that, but one of my biggest desires is to lead workshops, and I have a lot of experiences, and it's heartbreaking. It's nice that I share it. I really need to share it somewhere. Like I have a lot of experience with workshops or working on myself. Like there are so many little things that I can also put together, and always something is in the way in my life that it's never comes to fulfill this vision, kind of, that I will kind of continuously lead workshops or organize groups or teach. And I feel very sad for this because every time I see some workshops organizers, I feel a bit jealous. And anyway, so that's why I created this persona called like a grumpy gremlin, it's called. And so I didn't want to use all my tools, like how to release anger consciously and let myself to be vulnerable and really dive deeper about the subject with the cat. But there was a turning point once, and I really needed to do it because as much as I'm working with different aspects of layers in my psyche and my being, I felt like this topic is too hot that it needs to be resolved. Um, so yeah, I was almost about to suggest the original owner of the cat, to give it to someone. I knew someone who is really interested and like loves cats, like a cat lover. So instead, because my fear arose, I was like afraid of not being a good house sitter or something, and really like this emotional, like really bad fear, like uncomfortable fear came in. So I really decided I'm gonna release this anger at the same time consciously, because I stopped doing like, if you ever tried conscious work with anger, I stopped doing this Osho way that it's just about the release. Or so I started to do more conscious way with putting the words, use as much as understanding and comprehension of why I'm so angry. So that I remember the time I did it. I also cried a lot. I could not stop crying. The cat saw me. I was like, looked at her, and I either did my tantrum. I have a lot of like techniques, like how to use pillow or stand with the legs, so I'm not hurting myself or anyone. Or I would cry and cry, go by the river and cry. And actually, the cat started to show me more respect than ever before. She just left my space. She saw me that I'm going through something. She's like, I'm not gonna go near her. Before, because I could not, I struggled with connecting with her sometimes, and because I was annoyed and she could not get all her needs met. Of course, I cuddled her sometimes, but she was like very demanding for me. Oh, it was overwhelming. So then she gave me the space I really actually needed all the time. And then I remember part of my inner work was to also see that work with that fear, which I've always found be difficult. But I also observed why if I'm afraid of something and what it is, and the sense of powerlessness. So I don't remember everything what came up, but I do remember it was a lot to do with the fear of money, that I cannot afford this cat, although it's not mine, and I kind of officially didn't have to support her all by myself. But still, I was putting a lot of also some of my finances to help her, and I really felt like that was part of the problem. That yeah, and how to feed her, and the food is expensive. Like it's not that expensive, but still, I was putting some of my money into the food, and it felt like yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter what, but it felt like it's something I really needed to embrace, and because of this, it's just what happened is just our relationship changed for another 3-4 months completely on the other side. So I completely transformed, and she comes to me. We sleep in a bed together, like all the amazing stuff you could have. Like I even played with her far too much. She got even annoyed. So now she actually gives me a lot of respect. So sometimes I kind of, maybe I grew in my personality even, and because I'm just myself, she actually gets annoyed about me sometimes that I'm just making this fire or whatever, and she just does her things and leaves. And then, yeah, it's funny that sometimes our natural incompatibility is just flowing. She does her thing, I do my thing, and it's just somehow very, very beautiful. And just one more thing, that for example, today she came to the cabin with the mouse first time. Well, once I saw her trying to chase a mouse, like little mouse, she came, and I know that if it would have happened in October or these months where I was actually working on it. I was really still struggling and observing, like, oh my god, so that the relationship was really complicated. I would have freaked out. But today I'm so relaxed with her. My heart is so much more in a different space, that I was like, oh my god, what are you doing there? Like, get her out. Like, I'm really proud of myself. I really reached different layer, connecting to her. It was like, She looked at me and she was like, "Oh, half dead mouse, look at her." And little mouse, and I'm like, okay, but get her out. So really, really happy about that. So, and I hate mice. I could also freak out with mice. So, yeah, I'm really happy about this. So that's, but yeah, so that's part of the story, part of the part of the life of the cabin, of part of what I kind of want to share about the life in the cabin. And I might not show you too much. Actually, this cabin was already on YouTube. I randomly saw it tonight. I went 3 o'clock. I just couldn't sleep. It was a bit freezing. I had 3 blankets, and I just went online and looked for something. I have just this insight. I'm gonna have a look on something on the YouTube, and I don't know why this video of the woman who is living off grid in cabins, whatever came up. So I'm like, oh, okay, this self-loving tool. I don't use it always fully, but at least okay, it's self-loving. Okay, I'm gonna have a look. And she was exactly in this cabin. So maybe I could show you. I was really happy to see that. So I'm also happy to share a story, which is really interesting. I find it really like transformational. Yeah, part of my big passion is doing the transformational work, and it just fits in very well. Anyway, so yeah, just spontaneous cabin stories and do it. Yes, let's do it.